And just like that, we're live. Short intro tonight. Short intro.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
Lee and I got talking, and it was like, oh, it's time to go. We got to do it. So, yep, a little impromptu live, as you know, we like to do over here. Hey, Grammy. So, yeah, the stream team said they were taking the night off. So I decided, well, I'll go ahead and go live. And, you know, because I know we got people slapping their wrist and slapping their arm for some beekeeping chat.
Gotta have a live at least 4 nights a week. You got Monday, Tuesday. Well, it's Tuesday. You normally got Wednesday and Thursday. So if somebody for some reason can't go, I guess we'll fill in.
Not going to say anything. Well, I am going to say something about it. I also saw Son of One did a test live stream.
I tried to click on it, but it was private.
And so did Flower Street.
Yeah, Brian
did one too. So yeah, man, we might have 7 night a week bee conversation.
And I think Brian from Flower Street is figuring out video for vertical and then horizontal landscape that way of depending on what video he's doing.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, but I still don't think you can do landscape for shorts, though.
No, I don't think for the shorts because they pretty much all vertical. I mean, I don't know how it would work out if you held it landscape, if it would just crop it down small or if it would still flip it sideways. I hadn't tried. Well, I guess it would still flip it sideways because Flower Street did one at the market and he was holding it sideways and you had to hold your head.
Yeah.
That's video.
I think that's just a short thing. They don't give you a bunch of extra feet. I mean, they kind of do because you can put little titles and all on it, but I don't think, it's anything.
Yeah, we're going to label this BA, Beekeepers Anonymous.
BA, that's right. And did you see the short or the video I did this morning with the pollen sub?
Yep.
And
we're going crazy on it.
But they were burying other bees underneath the sub. They were pulling out so much. I had 3 or 4 bees that had got flipped upside down and had sub on top of them. They couldn't get out. And that's good, Grayson. Randy decided to come on in January once he gets through Hive Life. And you get to meet him at Hive Life, so that'll be good. I did get a new toy today with my coyote sighting. I got the Browning Dark Ops Full HD webcam or trail cam. So I got another trail cam out in the yard. Hi, my name is Paul, and I haven't been in my hives for 4 days. hey, maybe you know what? You just gave me a heck of an idea. So the next time I set up my laser, I might cut out a bunch of discs. Like round discs, you know how you get a token when you've been bee free for a certain amount of time?
Graduate to the next level.
Yeah. And just have like every time we send out a package or do a giveaway, we'll just throw in a Beekeepers Anonymous tag and do it that way. Bad news on the property front. Turns out that the VA will not finance that property, but I've been looking at some other options, like Department of Ag for farm loans and stuff like that, and trying to see where beekeeping falls into farming. As far as if you own an apiary of a certain size, can you get that farming loan and farming exemption here in South Carolina? And will they help fund that? You know what I mean? So that could be a thing. We'll see.
To keep us up to date on that. That way, maybe some other people can look into it also.
Yeah. Hey, Whiz and Hunt. That could be a Whiz and Hunt thing.
Yep.
I haven't had a sighting of Wizen Hunt in our chat in a while, but I did see where he posted up his stuff. Oh, cool, Ed. I didn't see where he had the James. Sorry to hear that, brother.
Hey James, do you know when that's going to happen yet, or are they still waiting to make a schedule? Let us know.
And so that may be that could be a route for him. And Bugman's got heart surgery coming up soon too. And I need to go back. The VA wanted me to do an MRI and a CAT scan. So, and I haven't done it. I haven't. They call me at like the weirdest times. I'm always in the middle of something, so I have to call them back and reschedule appointments. So I could be the third on that list. They say good things come in threes. So, and bad things for that matter.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know the bad do.
So, that could be a thing, guys. So with farming, we need to check the Department of Agriculture. I don't know if it's a federal thing or if it's a state thing, but they do have special loans for farms, even first-time farmers. You have to prove payback ability from your bees to get an ag loan. Yeah, so that's the whole thing, right? It's like, well, you might be able to make that case if you've been doing it and you've got a number of colonies and you can show what you've made with those colonies. So I don't
guess
know.
basically it'd be like any other loan. You got to show either kind of type of income, what you're going to be able to pay back, and all that.
And see,
I'm sure they have a few different processes to go through.
And that's the whole transition thing, right? So then it's like, well, my bees could pay back, especially down here in the South with being able to honey sales and
our longer harvest seasons compared to the North.
Mm-hmm. And the ability to make packages and nukes and queens and stuff like that as well. So, I mean, you can make an argument. However, I couldn't say today, well, based on what I have right now, I couldn't see my bees paying a loan back. Right. So, so that's kind of an issue with that situation, but we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? Maybe sometimes you're led in directions and sometimes the best option is not doing anything, right? Just holding the money until you need it and use it then. So I also, I've been toying around with this beekeeping supply stuff, and I think that's an option. But even if you had a storefront, like I was just thinking after the conversation last night with like Flower Street, how he does so many different kinds of honey, right? I mean, look at it. How many, you could have an infinite number of flavors of creamed honey. Infinite. Whatever you could think of, you could make a flavor of, right?
Yep.
You could technically have a creamed honey bar where you have creamed honey and people come and pick the flavor they want to do and they make it themselves. Like in the store, it could be like a elite. Yes, we all know what everybody else is having on their streams. We watch the same feeds you do, Grayson. We know everybody who's got everybody.
Yeah, I was looking at the short that Brian put up the other day from Flower Street Farms of the farmers market or the market that they were at, and he had all different kind of products: the flavored honeys, the regular honeys, creamed honeys, the lip balms, the photography.
Well, if you think about it, if it was a shop, it could double, right? It would be a beekeeping supply store. But for people that aren't beekeepers, they could just come there and get honey, and not only your honey, but like honey from all over the place. Like I could say, hey, Brian, I want to order a case of your honey. And then he sends his cases of honey over. And then all of a sudden you've got Colorado honey, Michigan honey, Texas honey, Florida, all different kinds of honeys in this store, right? And
I'm working on it back there in the back.
you got a good start on it. Yeah, just like Build-A-Bear, but just Build-A-Honey, right? You could actually, well, what it does is you could take that creamed honey base, right, and make the base, and then people add their own flavors to it. So they're taking home what they want, and that way you don't have the beauty of the situation is, at least in my mind, is that you're not selling something like you don't have to make 50. You just make the base and the customer makes what they want. And that way you always have the regular base and then then they're only buying what they want, right? And they can flavor it how they want. So that would, to me, that's just an idea. I think about things, guys. You think I just get off of here and don't like go into some kind of beekeeping coma?
You get off here and you get the FLIR camera and you go outside and do another live.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing that tonight. No. I got, but you know, that's that is the things that I think about. I try to think outside the box. Matter of fact, I was treating somebody's house today and he was from China. And we got talking about bees and swarm lure and the whole thing. And he was like, oh, that's so cool. And he works at the university. So it was like, it's just a neat little conversation, you know? And I think sometimes we have to think outside of the box, you know, and for 3 hours, only 3 hours, my brain does travel, guys. I'm an interesting guy for the most part.
I was about to say 3 hours. How about what? 5.5, almost 6 hours.
Almost 6 hours sometimes on the weekends.
Yep. I think the longest we done here one a couple weeks ago was like 5 hours and 48 minutes. I think we made it.
Hey, don't think that Lee doesn't have his mind going all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
I get random texts. I'm like, what are you talking about? Wait a minute. What are you doing?
I actually was looking up some stuff a while ago, and it just kind of, it really made me think whenever I read it. Okay, it said the life cycle of a bee now is only 50% of what the life cycle of a bee was in 1970. So
Really?
we average what, about 6 weeks now, roundabout, for a bee's life.
So why is that?
Pesticides, deforestation,
Beetles,
all the herbicides,
mites.
yeah. The disease. In fact,
well, the other thing is you could make an argument for the fact that there's not as much forage for them, so they're having to fly more.
yeah, the main factors were environmental stressors, diseases, parasites, pesticides, nutrition, and herbicides.
Right. Yeah, I can see all of it, all of the above in that. So
Now, you have a lot more farming now, and I mean they doing all the spraying, so that's going to cut a bunch. Then all the deforestation.
So yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we're definitely getting more and more subdivisions around here that's cutting all the forest.
Now, Paul, normally if I ain't making a live, I'm checking my eyelids for leaks.
Yeah, it's and see, like normally this time of year, I haven't had like pollen out in the past, right? I would have been like, it's winter, the bees don't need anything else, and just stopped. But as you guys can see from the last several little shorts and lives that I put up, the bees are definitely taking in pollen sub here, dry pollen sub, and Bob the Dory. That's kind of true. Hey, you know what, Chris? We got the end of the year sales stuff today, and somehow I was number 35 on the list of salespeople for the company for the year. Number 35. I know that doesn't sound good. It's 78 salespeople, but out of 78, I was number 35, and I just started in the middle of December. So
October.
Yeah,
started in the middle of October, correct?
Yeah, middle of October. So It hasn't been this warm here in the South very long. That's true. Have a class action suit against Roundup. Should. Hey, thank you.
He must be on his VPN again.
He's on his VPN again. I got some pesos tonight. Thank you for the pesos. I appreciate it. It automatically, it doesn't matter what it comes in on. It automatically converts anyway.
Yeah, it'll convert.
Yep, it'll convert. But, so yeah, that's been a.
Hey there, Rodney.
It's been kind of an interesting thing. So I'll see. This will be my first actual commission check, but it'll come in like 4 days before Christmas. So we'll see how it looks by the time the dust settles, right? And you know what? You want to go ahead and drop the link? I can drop it. It's just unless you already got it pre-programmed somehow.
No, not yet, but I got it now.
Ah, beat you.
I don't know. They both come up at the same time.
Oh, do they? I'll take a look at it. I will take a look at that. I noticed mine are still brooding, and they're not like totally jammed out on. Was that on Little Bits Honey? Little Bits. Christopher.
Yeah, I hate typing.
Me both. So yeah, the first month was pretty good. And you know, a lot of that rolls over. So it went into November, and then now I got some from November rolling into December, a little, not much, but it's been slim pickings on the leads front with, you know, being in December. So,
and I'm getting leads every day for our guys, but I'm an old guy, so I can do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, our guys don't usually send me leads, so at least at this point. Yes.
But like I was saying, our weather down here is extremely warm. Like today was 82. Normally we're in the 40s. So
yep.
I actually took a screenshot of ours today. Let me pull it up here and see. We were 83. Heat index was 87.
Let's see. 87. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last night, Hickory. About hobby beekeeping. Well, I think in that sense, hobby is more like, you know, sometimes doing it, right? I mean, obviously hobby beekeeping in most states is actually a category for the number of hives you have. And I haven't even watched the video, so I'm kind of speaking off of the top on how I think he meant it without looking at it. Is a hobby beekeeper. You could be a hobby beekeeper and have 1 or 2 colonies, but don't treat beekeeping like a hobby where you're only looking at it, you know, once in a while, or, you know, you still have to maintain and take care of them. That's the only thing I'm thinking. I haven't seen the video. It did pop up in my feed today, and I know some people have done reviews on it and stuff like that. Journeyman, there you go. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, I think as far as what we consider hobbies and what we don't consider hobbies are kind of a mindset, right? I mean, bowling for me is a hobby. I like to bowl. I bowl once in a while, but I don't. I don't see it as a hobby. Oh, Charlie's got to mute.
I got it.
You got it.
I was going to bring this up again that I showed last night in case anybody wasn't here. Transition over. But in the state of Louisiana, everybody says the hobby thing. One of our categories for our registration is hobbyist.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to offend anybody. I wouldn't have taken it that way anyway, but I'm pretty thick-skinned when it comes to stuff. I don't, I tend to take things that apply to me and apply them to me, and then things that I don't think apply to me, then I just let them go. Right. So, and then I try stuff like, like we were just talking about having my pollen out and stuff right now.
I watched the video, and what he to say is you have beekeepers and you have bee havers, and he was trying to say that you can't be a bee haver if you want your bees to survive. You've got to go out and look over them and take care of them like a cat or a dog or anything else, feed them. And
at that point, they're good at pets, right? It's like having an ant farm.
They're pets. I mean, let's face it, they're all pets to us,
Right.
But to say you put bees in a box and walk away, never look at them the next 2 or 3 months, they're not going to survive.
Well, I would agree and disagree, I guess. It just depends. I mean, depends on your climate, the environment you have around you. Because, you look back in the summer, whenever I was working turnaround, I didn't get in my hives at all for 2.5 months. Now, yeah, I had one swarm, but the rest of them, when I did go out there and do inspection, they were busting out the seams.
You have one swarm that you know of.
Well, yeah. Now, granted, the rest of them that I checked, they were still full enough. I don't think that they swarm, but does that mean that they don't have no mites or anything like that? I'm sure they probably did, because I didn't get out there to do my treatments when I should have at the first of the summer after honey.
Right.
But that's, I think, what his gist was that, you have to look after your bees and that kind of thing is what he was trying to explain. But, I don't know. It just
seems like it's like a big to do, I try not to get bent out of shape about videos too much.
Yeah.
And
a lot of what we say on here, what I say, what you say, Charlie, Chris, or whoever else, a lot of it's their opinion, I guess you'd say, the way they look at things, how they want to do it, and no 2 or 3 people's going to do it exactly the same. Yeah, can we learn from each other different little tricks and hints? Yeah.
That's the reason we came on here, because, I'm a first-year bee. I don't know what you're going to call it. One of those. But I plan on being a beekeeper.
Yeah, that's the titles don't really matter. I think it's more about the way you approach your bees. Hobbyist is a category. Lee just showed it. Everybody knows that, right? What is it? It's backyard beekeeper is like 1 to 10, right? And then like 10 to 50 is considered a hobbyist, right? And then 50 to or 100 and over, or is it something like that is sideliner?
Well, if you have,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying 50, I've heard 50, I've heard 100. It's all different.
They say if you have 50 hives or more, then you're considered a sideliner. If you have 100 hives or more, you're considered a commercial guy. And I kind of beg to differ when it comes to, I consider myself a sideliner because, yes, I have a dozen honey hives. I've got nukes, and then in the summertime, I'll have 20 to 30 mating boxes. So I fluctuate, but I kind of look at it financially. Is your bees paying your expenses 100%?
Yeah.
And are you making a profit on top of that? So if you're making, a sideliner is a sideline business.
Right.
That's what I was going to say, because I've heard 50 hives, I've heard 100. If you're making money, a good, decent income on it, that's your side business, then they would say sideliner. But
that's right.
You could call yourself whatever you want.
If you're making your living at it, it's commercial. You're a commercial beekeeper.
Yeah. But
And
the way I look
this
at
way,
it on that, if you're retired and you don't have any bills and you got, say, 20 hives and that's all the money that you need to bring in, who says you're not a sideliner at 20? If you making
well,
the
if
money.
you can live off of 20 hives and you're retired, you're more sort of like commercial, you might say.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense of definition, financially.
Yeah.
I look at the finance part of it. If you make, I don't know, let's say $5,000 a year clear profit, I call that a sideliner. If you're a hobbyist or backyard, you can call yourself a hobbyist, a backyard beekeeper, whatever, but you don't really make any profit. It's sort of a hobby is like a boat. You keep putting money into it. And if you're at that level where you're not really making enough money to pay your expenses off, it's more of a hobby. But if you're good at it, I can tell you that you got to have more than 4 beehives in order to make any money.
Now, I mean, I'm right around 28 hives right now.
Yeah,
and
you should be making.
I've made a decent amount of money this year. Now, have I made what I've put into the bees? Bob can contest to this, how much money I've dropped in my bee stuff.
Yeah, but how many years you been at it? 3?
This is my 3rd. Now, granted,
right,
that price that I quoted before, that's some of my other equipment, like my computer stuff, dealing with YouTube for the bee stuff. So I factored that in business expense.
Right.
But that's my extractor.
Yeah, well, maybe not so much. I wouldn't factor the YouTube in, but everything that went into your bee yard, all your supplements and feeds and stuff like that, your hive ware, woodenware and whatever. I'll say business cards. I just spent some money to get some business cards, and but like you say, when you get up around 15 or 20 hives, there's enough money coming in there if you get enough flow and you got and I'll say this, you're going to take 5 years, just like any business model. It takes you 5 years to kind of get established. And it's like Bob, he's starting to sell queens. He's starting to sell some nukes. The word is out. He'll have more people knocking on his door, giving him a phone call. And if you keep at it and keep growing with that part of the business, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's just kind of how the bee business works from what I can see.
Takes time, right? For me, it's a long-term investment. I knew that it wasn't going to turn a profit overnight, right? So they tell you every course, just about
that whether you're working bees or selling some furniture, bee lure, a business plan or a business model is the same, whether it's bees and honey or whether it's swarm lure or selling cars. And they all tell you it takes you at least 5 years to kind of get established and all that. And you've already got regular clientele for your honey. Now you got to start, you're this year, like you said, you're building up your bee honey production hives.
Right.
And then next year you want to be real careful with that. Start making a bunch of honey, hopefully you can make 800 to 1,000 pounds. And now you'll have enough to kind of get through the year from one season to the next season. And that kind of stuff.
It kind of grows exponentially, right? So when you start out, the common thing is pretty much, you're not going to get honey your first year. Not that you can't get honey your first year, but most trains of thought say, just plan on not getting any because they're building comb. They're trying to store it away. So the first year you're like, okay, I'm just trying to make some bees, right? Yep. Then the second year you got, if everything goes good and they make it through, well, then you're going to make some splits and double, hopefully at least double, right?
And you might make 200 or 300 pounds of honey. Now where Lee is, from what I listen to him with that tallow, I guarantee you guys probably get honey the first year when you first start out.
That's what I was about to say. earlier this year, no, last year, whenever I come out of winter with my one hive, I'd bought 8 nukes to go with it. Now, the one that overwintered, yeah, I ended up with 5 or either 6 supers on top of that hive. But some of the nukes that I bought that year, I still ended up with 3 supers on them. And that was brand new supers, no drawn comb. And the supers are the brood box.
Hey, I'm gonna
just the 5 frames of drawn that came in the nuke.
Fox Plus shared our link, and we're up to 99 viewers right now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So thank you so much for that.
Who's Fox Plus?
My first hive was in April, and I caught that just a swarm, and I got 4 gallons out of that in June.
Really?
So I mean, and that's kind of the thing is, and to James's point here, that's exactly it. So you scale to what you can afford, you know, and that's kind of the thing is knowing how much you can afford to put into it, right? I could have waited on a lot of the boxes that I bought this year. I could have waited till next year to really invest in that because I didn't end up using most of them. But the thing is that if I didn't buy them, I probably would have needed them. I mean, that's been my experience. My first year, I bought equipment. I'm like, oh, I got plenty. But then I didn't have plenty. So in the middle of the season, I was out running and getting more boxes and building them and painting them and treating them and getting them ready to go. And then after that, I kind of learned, well, let me try to stay a little bit ahead. So other than the expense of putting the money out, if I have the boxes here, now I can just go grab some frames and boxes and I'm ready to go, right? I didn't like playing the catch-up game.
Yeah.
And so as you grow your bee business, then you're looking at, okay, well, the first year, maybe a little bit of honey. The second year, now you should have more honey and more colonies, right? If you're just splitting your bees and doing the right thing. But then you start looking at different ways, right? So it's like, well, maybe I can do some cut comb honey, and maybe I can raise a few queens, and maybe I can sell a few packages or nukes or something like that. So it kind of starts to grow. And guys, I'm a little OCD when it comes to things, right? So like if I'm going to buy queens and I only personally need 5 queens, but I know there's a need in the area, I still go and buy 25 queens because I'm going to sell the other queens, or I'm going to make them start making me bees like I did with my little nukes, right? So then if somebody wants a queen, okay, well, here's a queen, $40, take her out, sell the queen. But now her offspring in that nuke are going to generate another queen. So it's all about just keeping it going without having to put more money out of your own pocket all the time. And that kind of goes back to the beaconomics that we've been talking about all season and all year, really, of how to take a little bit of money and reinvest it. And so you're not constantly going into that every week paycheck that you've got, you know.
You want the bees to be able to pay for themselves, not you have to pay for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Is there going to be times, you got to come out of pocket for a new piece of equipment? Yeah. But you want those times that the bees are producing to produce for you.
Well, one of the smartest things, it's not one of the smartest things you've said this year to me, Charlie, but one of the smartest things you did tell me this year was when I was looking to buy my extractor. And you said, well, if you've got the extra money, go ahead and buy the 30 instead of buying the 20 extractor.
Yeah.
What was that one phrase that we quoted a while back? Buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend $1,000, $2,000 on a piece of equipment that's going to last me several years, if not the lifetime of my business, versus spending $200 or $300 on something that I'm going to have to replace next year because it wasn't big enough or it just broke.
Well, I mean, the time savings in the long run. 20 frame extractor would have worked fine. I could have made 20 frames work.
Yeah.
But you're looking at a 30% production increase by buying a 30 over a 20.
The thing of it is like the young guy that I've mentored up here, he can't come to Hive Life, and he was looking, and I told him, I said, you're going to have to get yourself your own equipment. You know, you got to get out of my honey house. It just doesn't work. You're done, and, so, he was looking at the 20 and the 30, and I said, he's young. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. And, I says, look, the first buy is always the cheapest. If you buy something, you buy the 20 and then you want to buy the 30 3 years down the road. Are you going to get the money that you spend in the 20 out? No. So if it only costs you an extra $400 more now, when you're buying the first time around, your money ahead. And I said, he wants to, expand and whatever. And I said, then I would buy the 30 if I was doing it him.
Well, and that made sense. So, yeah, I mean, Hales, but what do I need next? That's a great question. Right now, technically, I don't need anything. I don't need it. I mean, there's things that I would like to have, and maybe one day I will have, but
well, that's another thing I tell people, they'll sit there and say, you can buy like right now, you can buy a Hive Butler uncapping tank, which that's what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And for what I do, I mean, I don't need a great big 4 foot long. I got to be very portable in my situation because I don't have a designated honey house or room or anything like that. And I got to be able to clean it up and put it away someplace. So the Hive Butler works for me. And because I'm not extracting a tremendous amount at one time, but it's out of plastic. It's $200, and they'll say it's $200, or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I said, that's 20 bottles of honey, 21. That's 20 pounds of honey. Think about it. That equate everything that you buy in pounds of honey. Do you sell 20 pounds of honey? Yeah. Well, it'll pay for itself in a couple weeks of sales.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you buy, all right, let's say a 20 frame extractor that's, with shipping, let's say $1,500.
If it ain't date out.
Huh?
Well,
if you look at a license, that's what, $1,200, $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a couple $100 probably shipping in there. So you're right around $1,500 time you get it. And all right, $1,500, that's 150 bottles of 150 pounds of
honey.
Honey. I mean, that's, and think about that. 150 pounds.
Well, you guys
depending where you live at. Now, if you live down there in Lee with that tallow,
right.
That's what, maybe 2 hives,
3 5-gallon pails.
Maybe. Like I said, I had one of my hives.
A hive and a half.
Year, my number one hive this year, I ended up with 7 supers on it.
All right, so you had one hive produce enough money in honey to buy a extractor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and now up here we won't get that. We'll get maybe 50 pounds of honey per hive. I think I got about 80 pounds this year per hive. But I'm doing, most of them are not doing single brood chamber management. Most people don't understand it. Most people say, well, it's a lot of work. I said, yeah, it is a lot of work.
It is.
That's why I'm looking at a hive lifter. I haven't figured out, whether I want to buy the one like Mike Berry has. And I've been trying to contact some of the Canadian guys that have the other model up there.
Is it Dancing Bee?
No, it's is it Brad for Faith Apiaries? He's up there close to Ian.
Let me look on Dancing Bee and see if they have it. If they do have it, give me a call because I can get a wholesale deal on it probably.
Dancing Bee
Supply. They're like the Man Lake
of Canada.
They're like.
Well, my question is, is you got the one that looks like a hand dolly. It raises up and down.
Right.
And that's what the heck's his name? Boris.
Duck River.
Yeah, and then they got the one like Duck River has, which also Mike Berry has, and Boris over there in Manitoba makes that one. He also makes a predecessor to that one, which looks like a kind of a normal hand truck model. I want to be able to lift those honey supers up, pull that thing back, go into my brood chamber. And when you're doing equalization, my thing is all right. You got 6 frames of cat brood in there. You pull half that out of there, and then you put empties in, and you keep the queen down there. And queen excluder, put the honey supers back on, and you either spread those brood frames to other, I'll say, weaker hives, or to build them up, equalize them, or I know this year, coming year, I'm going to be doing a Demaree, and I'll explain that. How that works.
Or they can watch my video.
No, I have there's a club I belong to that are very active in that kind of beekeeping. And there's actually a lady in my club that has done it this past year. It lives about 45 minutes from my house. And she has explained to me, but I'm more of a visual learner.
Right.
And I got to see it.
Well, it's a
I'm not old.
It's a good.
Where let's see. I got to read the rest of that. Looking for the deep. Look, to see anything lift in my deeps as well as.
Yeah, they're heavy, right? 70, 80 pounds.
See, that's why I couldn't go with the deep still. I have a bad back, so
I got
can't
medium
take all that
too.
weight.
Not convinced I have seen what I want yet. And yeah, I'm right there with you. It's Paul, isn't it? Yeah,
that's Paul.
It's really not that confusing. It's really not. The Demaree is not that confusing.
Well, all you're doing is you're bringing brood out of the bottom box. You got a queen excluder, a couple honey supers, and then you put another brood box on top and put it upstairs.
Yeah.
Now, over here in Westchester, PA, they kept telling their people to take the ones that have uncapped brood out of the bottom box, or take most all of it out. I said, well, wait a minute. You do that, you're going to have queen cells out the wazoo in the top end.
Correct.
And they said, yeah. I said, well, that's fine if you want to make queens, naturally, and harvest them and then make splits. But I don't really want to make splits. I just want to make.
Honey has a great video on the Demaree.
Who's that?
Black Mountain Honey, Lawrence from Black Mountain Honey.
Okay.
And essentially what he's doing, let me take my model hives down. So got your deep box, right? And let's say this is your brood chamber. You're going to take out one brood frame with the queen, right? And let's say I have 2 of these, which I don't, but you're going to take the empty box. You're going to take your queen and 1 brood frame and put it in there. So now it's just 1 frame. Whoop. Now she's on the ground dead.
Yeah, I get that.
All right. And then you're going to put empty comb around her, or foundation if you want to draw a foundation up, right? And you're going to put your queen excluder on. Now, let's say you're going to have to be visual here with me for a second. So let's say this is the new queen and the box is filled up and there's only 1. She's on here with 1 frame of bees. Cap brood, right? And larva. And you're going to put that back down in the original position and put your queen excluder on it.
You don't have enough bees there.
Well, no, you got to listen, Charlie.
Okay,
listen.
all right. Go ahead.
Don't mess up my mojo.
Okay.
So now you got this going on, right? Only the queen and 1 frame of bees and the queen excluder. Then you're going to take 2 boxes or 1 box. You could get away with 1 box probably. and on top, empty right here. Or you could just have drawn comb right here.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do is, let's say this was another deep, well, we'll just use medium. So I put 2 mediums here. And then you're going to take, let's assume this queen, well, yeah, we'll leave that there. We'll assume that's a queen excluder, and we'll assume this inner covers a queen excluder as well. So you're going to have 2 boxes here. You're going to put another queen excluder on top of those boxes. And then the original brood box that is full with all of the other bees, right, minus the queen and the one frame you put down the bottom, is going to go on the top. Now, what's going to happen, they're going to be separated far enough away from the original queen that's down here in the bottom, right?
Right.
That can't come through because she's got the queen excluder. Now, what's going to happen? The bees that are in here, some of the bees are going to stay with the brood that's up here. But the rest of the foragers and everything have to go out and come out the front, and they're going to stay with the original queen and take care of her, and she will start laying that bottom box out. So you've just given a whole new bottom box to those girls down here. Sorry, I'm looking down here by the entrance.
Yeah, I got you.
And yes, they will generate probably 20 cells up there. And Lawrence says if you're just trying to build numbers in that one colony, he goes through after about 7 days and he dispatches all those queen cells. Or you could do what I did last year and harvest a bunch of those queen cells to make splits off of them. If you're good and got some foundationalists where you can cut them out, you know.
Well, you don't need foundation. I cut queen cells all the time on foundation. That ain't a big deal.
But, you know, that's kind of the principle behind it. And it worked pretty well. Matter of fact, that one that I did the video on bees in the box the other day was the Demaree colony. But I've got it all the way back down to a single deep. And what I'm going to do, hopefully, if the weather holds out till Saturday, I'm going to start pulling some off of that, the box that I have all of my carnies in. Take some of those mediums off, like at least one, and pop it right on the top of that one with the bees in the box in it. Missed it, Bob. Can you do it again? I've got a video on it. Go watch the video. It's long, like 45 minutes. But the thing is that this was the first year I did it. It seemed like a pretty good explanation, but essentially it's the same as using a double screen board. You could just move them up and use a double screen board. It would do the same thing as well, not really, because the bees couldn't travel back down to be with the queen.
You'd have to have a separate entrance on top.
But it does allow the bees to come back down. They will draw that comb out. It keeps the brood box from getting bound with pollen and honey. And they'll have to draw that comb out if you're putting fresh foundation in there to give her room to lay. So they're kind of in a panic mode at that point around that queen because they have nowhere. She doesn't have anywhere to lay but that one frame that's got bees on it, right? So I
got comb. That's not a problem, but.
Yeah, but then you got the other problem with if you put comb down there, Charlie, is that
she'll try to lay it all out at once.
Well, they'll also try to start storing stores down there, which is why you move the stores up anyway to keep them from getting bound up. And, you know, at least that's what Lawrence did. He let them draw that comb out.
Yeah, well, see, I do a little bit the way, you know, where you pull out part of that brood out. You leave her and all those bees down there, and then you pull 3 frames of brood and bees out, and you can either put it upstairs, and then you're cycling from the top to the bottom. From the top, it's a roving Demaree type of thing.
That's what he said. He did a Demaree last year. It was a great way to prevent swarming and get a huge honey crop.
Yeah, well, that's like with me. I've been doing this here equalization, you know, where you go in about every 7 to 10 days. And you're pulling the brood out and put it someplace else. And like this year, I had some hives that I had a queen issue, and people say, well, then why don't you work on the queen? Well, at the time, I didn't have that option of making, getting a queen out of my own yard. So you, as I call it, you baby that queen along until you do have a replacement. And I had places to put extra.
If she was a good queen at one time, and has good genetics, what I typically do is take that old queen over and I'll make a 5-frame nuke box with that old queen and let her to continue to lay that genetics until she decides she's gone. And that way the main colony either gets a new queen or they generate cells for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2 years ago, I started doing this here single brood chamber management program. Now, we'll have to say 2 years ago, the weather was perfect for us up here. It didn't rain while the blooms were on. And we got our honey flow is very short. It's April, May, and June, and mostly in May is when our big push is on. And I made 1,100 pounds of honey that year, which was, I'll say, almost double. And then this year I did 845 pounds, and that's out of 10 hives. And
we got a no Brian rule today.
You got what?
I said we had a no Brian rule today, and I clicked you out.
Oh,
they got to let him in. You used his hive.
Yeah,
his display to work with.
We just lost 4 viewers when you came on. We were at 114.
You took our. Well, I was a viewer because we were.
This was your time.
Greg Bruce and I were sitting for the last hour discussing stuff.
Well, I saw your post earlier I saw the post that Bruce put up saying, there he is right there, saying he wasn't going live.
Yeah.
What's up? Hey, how you doing tonight?
That y'all weren't going live tonight. And I'm like, there's at least 100 people out there that are jonesing for some live stream tonight. So let's go ahead and go live. And then we had a guy that came on Fox Plus. And he shared us out. Oh, thank you. He shared us out, and all of a sudden we were at 114.
God, somebody sent you 249. Is that pounds?
Filipino pesos.
For Filipino?
It's
Philippine pesos?
Filipino pesos.
249. Wow. I don't know how much that is, but that's a nice little.
Thank you.
What is a Filipino?
From the Philippines, man.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody mentioned I have no hat.
I go get my hat? Rubles or whatever in the Philippines, something like that.
No, man.
From Russia, man.
Rubles are Russian rupees. No, it's India. India's rupees.
Huh.
But so we've kind of gone the whole gamut already. We've talked about the JC's comment about hobby beekeeping. And Bruce, I mean, technically you're a sideliner, but it's still a hobby. I mean, it's a hobby for all of us, right? I mean, we all have jobs and do our things. So it's just, I thought the gist of what he was saying was, it can be a hobby, but you can't really treat it like a hobby because they're essentially like pets, right? You got to take care of them. You can't just put them in.
They're livestock.
They're livestock.
Like cattle.
They are
branded. Yeah. That's fine. They're at the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to pet my bees. They just don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
They pet you back every now and then.
But and then we talked about equipment. Oh my gosh, look at here.
Yeah, we're getting everybody in tonight.
Wait a minute. You guys said you weren't going live tonight. Now we needed the Mike Berry sighting.
I heard there was someone's giving out pesos. So I heard the word pesos and thought, we got to get in here. I heard there's a big time bee chat going on.
Yeah.
This is what I was showing earlier, Brian. We was talking about a hobby. Louisiana, on our registration, we actually have the hobby category to check.
You know what would be interesting if all three of you guys shared this out in your community and see how many we could actually pump up in here at one time, since we already have 100 and you're guys don't even know that you're on a stream. That would be interesting to see
they're probably thinking we were going to be on tonight. And
well, I saw Bruce's post earlier. I'm like, you know what? I know there's at least 100 beekeepers out there that are like sitting there smacking their arms and shaking because they don't have a bee chat tonight. So
also accepts crypto. Nice.
I do, man. I'll take it. Don't get me wrong. I'll take all of your crap coins
and everything, right?
What's that? FTX and all.
Tonight is brought to you by Reed's Zero Sugar Ginger Ale.
So, hey, Brian actually saw my parchment from Ohio State the other day. I made sure I tagged him in it. So,
oh gosh, Ohio State.
Well, I got. Well, you're in healthcare. I got my authorized user certificate from Ohio State for nuclear pharmaceuticals. So, I shared that because a lot of people, they're like, "Nah, there's no way Bob's got an education," you know, because I don't really put it out there. But yeah, I've got a little bit of education, about 100. Well, my credit score says I got about $116,000 worth of education left to pay for. So somewhere over that amount of money of education. Wow. Yeah. And what am I doing? Beekeeping, baby. Let's do it. So
there you go.
So we've just go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just reading Ed's comment. We're getting some confused people.
Like, wait a minute. Is this a stream? Hey, to be honest with you, I told Lee, I said, hey, they're not going live tonight. Maybe I said, what's the odds that if we go live tonight at the time they normally go live, they're about when somebody gets a notification that they just assume that it's the stream team and jumped in and we kind of dupe people into watching our stream for a while.
Well, do you have more people than you normally do?
Yeah, but
Well,
but that's because Fox Plus shared us out in the Philippines, and now we got 113 people watching.
Well, how'd that happen?
I assume it's a him. I've never met them, but he's been coming on the last few streams and shared it out here tonight. Now,
Fox Plus, you need to join the stream team on Wednesday nights.
Yeah,
Fox Plus Philippines. Is that what you said?
The Philippines.
Yeah. A lot of these names on here are familiar, though. I recognize most of the names on here, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of our typical viewers and yours too. So that's cool.
Hey, Bob, can we hijack your stream for 2 minutes?
Sure. You've already done that just by showing up, but go ahead.
I didn't wear my hat. I feel bad without my hat. I feel like I got to cover my head.
I thought Mike come in. We was going to need some sunshades there for a minute.
My dad used to say there's only a few perfect heads and the rest he covered with hair. So I don't know. I don't know about that. So anyway, but yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Bruce, Greg, what were we just working on?
Can we even talk about that?
I don't know. Is it top secret?
We have a little bit. I mean, it's listed. So, I mean, there's a description of it.
Well, I guess we weren't able to get on tonight because we had a stream team business meeting about, Brian, what's the big thing coming up?
1 year anniversary.
Uno años.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's going to be in 2 weeks, but next week Greg's going to be doing the stream team on his channel, and we're going to be talking a lot about it there too. So we come up with some really cool ideas and stuff. I think hopefully folks will join us, and it's going to be a good evening. A lot of fun giveaways and just a lot of fun.
I'll donate some of my swarm lure. You guys probably don't even know about my swarm lure. So
I do.
Well, you actually watch my stream. Greg kind of sometimes once in a while. Bruce jumps in once in a while.
Greg doesn't even have time to watch his own stream.
Yeah.
But you know what's hanging up in my stream office right now? The actual office is a walk-in cooler, butchering, curing, mead making, hillbilly shenanigan shack. It's insulated that I can run down to the 32 degrees. So I'm not getting anything done stream-wise or anything in there because I've got deer up that building, keep them cool until I can butcher them. So yeah, unfortunately there's not enough time to butcher a deer, let alone get caught up on all the YouTube stuff. I wish I did. I wish I could.
Yeah, between that and making a new shed. Nice looking shed too.
Yeah, that's the next phase of Nature's Image Farm. They're growing, so that'd be a lot of fun too. But Bruce and Brian, we've got some. We've been at it for a year with the bee streams, and been pretty faithful on just about nearly every Wednesday. Luckily, when we can't get on, there's you got Lee and Bob or anyone else who can jump on and fill the space there. And a lot of folks look forward to those Wednesday nights or any other night. It's good. But we got the big 1 year anniversary show coming up where we've seen just about everybody on here. It's the first time meeting Chris from Bugman 1966. So nice to see you up there.
Hey.
It's been cool because we got so many different folks who kind of come into the circle and they can go off and do their own thing and come back and check in. And it's been fun just to see everyone's channels grow and the community build, and folks do chats and talk about bees or whatever it is that they kind of want to get into. But we've been at it for a year, and so we're trying to do something special for folks. And there's going to be a lot of I don't want to say big name beekeepers or big name names in there, because that's not really what it's about. But I think it is neat where folks, all of our time's valuable. We only have so much time on this earth, and every second is precious. But it means a lot when folks make the time to jump on and support every stream that we've done, every stream that Bob and Lee has done, the Hillbilly guys, everybody. It means a lot. And so for our 1 year show, there's going to be a lot of folks that have made time to either pre-record videos or to jump in and just say hi. A ton of giveaways like you've never seen before. It's going to be cool. So that's what we were busy doing tonight, is kind of fine-tuning a lot of those details and making sure that we can make this thing run smooth and be awesome for folks where everyone kind of wins. So
yeah, it's going to be fun. The community is just so much fun that we've been able to partake in and share, and it's not possible without everybody that's in this stream and has been in our stream, and it's just really been fun. And man, it's been, this all kind of started back. I think I just reached out to Brian. Brian, I guess, knew Greg, and I reached out to Brian about a year ago, and I said, basically, hey, I've been wanting to do some live streams. Can you help me? And Brian's like, sure. And so I didn't have any idea what StreamYard was. I had done a couple of lives myself just on YouTube, didn't know what I was doing. I had a couple of guys that kind of helped with the moderators for me, but just on my iPhone, I just didn't know what I was doing. And Brian really walked me through that in a similar time. You guys may have heard this story, but Greg reached out to me, I think probably early December last year. And he said, hey, do you want to do a brief, like a segment podcast at the Hive Life? And so that's kind of how we sort of met. Like, I met Greg and Brian separately. Then that night, Brian and I were talking about it. Brian's like, well, let's just do a live stream. You want to see what it's like? And so Brian invited all those people on there. We had so many people on there. We had Chad and Greg and Cayman, and just like 7 different people came on. Jose and Ian checked in, and that was really fun. And then the next week we did one, and then one right before Hive Life, and nothing was official until right after Hive Life. And we kind of decided, I think the first one where we really decided we were going to do this thing consistently was when we had Jason on that night. And I remember when I went back and watched the old video with Jason, that first video from Bohemia Bees, one of the first things we said when we got on was, are we just going to call ourselves a stream team? And we're like, sure, let's do it. And that's kind of where we decided, right there with Jason. And I've done a couple of Extreme Team nuggets from that particular video, but early in that video, that's kind of where we just said, hey, we had discussed it a little bit and just said, hey, why don't we just do it? And so that's kind of where the name came up, and it's been kind of fun ever since then. We've been trying to be pretty consistent. We've only missed like 2 or 3 Wednesday nights, I think, all year, maybe. And on a couple of those, like we've had other, like Greg had what was the beekeeper? Is it Nina and Corey came on.
Corey
one night. Nina came on, and beyond that, I think we've only missed actually taken off like 2 nights, except for tonight, maybe all year, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. We've got 282 likes on this stream so far.
Yeah, man.
Well, thanks for watching, Mark Miller. I appreciate the kind words there.
Mark's been coming in the last few chats too with us. So.
We need to tap into the Philippines thing here too.
The peso market, man. That's good for you, Bob and Lee. You guys are cleaning up with How much is anyone smart enough to know what a peso conversion is?
It's 55 pesos to $1. So
Still, hey, that's
Yeah.
you know, it's not bad.
It looks impressive. No
Every
matter how much
penny
it
adds
is.
up.
Yeah.
It's money.
like
you
it.
know?
Absolutely, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I like it. 99. I love that.
Yeah, somebody did
It looks good.
249. Somebody did 249.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, I tell you what's to me what's cool about all this is before we really started putting ourselves out there in the beekeeping community, we were kind of embedded in the homestead community for years. And one thing that I always felt was important is when I would travel across the country, is if I was in someone's neck of the woods, I would try to do whatever I could to stop by, shake their hand, have a cup of coffee, break bread. I think what's cool is the same thing is going on with all of us here. I've gotten to, of course, meet Bruce and Brian. I've got to meet Charlie. I've got to swing by and see Bob real quick. At some point, hopefully, I'll get to meet Lee, Chris, you two. The cool thing is when we get, it's. I don't want to take. Not. I don't want. This doesn't. I don't want to say it's the wrong way. It's convenient, and this is great that we can all meet and have the hillbilly beekeepers Hollywood squares here. That's cool. But to be able to take it to the next level, right, and actually see someone face to face, shake their hand, turn this virtual reality into a living reality, and make those connections, that's a big deal. And I think that's a lot of folks are doing that here behind the scenes. I see a lot of the names here on the sides that I've either have met or I know I'll meet or see at Hive Life. I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's going to be
me,
wild.
It's important to take it to the next thing.
Hive Life's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy.
You know what, guys? As of right now, I don't have a Hive Life ticket.
Oh no, Bob! What the heck?
Well,
okay, we need some more pesos. Someone send Bob some more pesos.
So here's the thing. So I had committed to Swarm Commander to be in their booth, and they kind of dropped the ball because Cayman. I was like the middleman, right? So Cayman was working with them, and then they decided they're not going to go after it was already put on the page and everything that they were going. So I held out because I was going with them to not buy a ticket. And then they backed out, which left me hanging. And by that time, they were sold out of tickets.
Oh, man.
So, and
that's a bad deal.
So at this point, Grammy.
Bob, I talked to Renee. She's going shopping.
Oh, really? So maybe I do have a ticket. I might
got an extra ticket here if you want one.
Yeah, that
scalpers.
Sounds good. And
hey, the scalping might be a big deal with Hive Life.
How much you gonna charge him, Lee? How much you gonna charge him?
I ain't gonna charge him nothing. He show up as he is.
And Lee's gonna be up there with Ricky in his booth.
Yeah, I'll be with horizontal bees.
And my cool. Is gonna be there. Hilco bought 12 cases of it to sell at Hive Life, and Jason at Bohemia Bees bought a couple cases, so he's going to have it at his store booth, and the bullets will be up there at Jason's. So
look at that, Fox Plus is just dropping it.
So hey, so we have to be proper, right? So if you haven't subscribed to Fox Plus channel, go subscribe to Fox Plus. They've been very supportive.
Making it rain with the pesos. Go out there and
I'll have to check them out.
I don't want to say fella, could be a lady. Go show the channel some love, I guess. Huh?
Lee's priority got the link ready to drop.
There's a link to Fox Plus. Y'all want to go check it out?
Lee is so good back there with that stuff. It makes it look so easy, and he looks professional. I mean,
go ahead, Lee.
I don't know about the professional.
Look at you, man.
Here it goes. Lee's professional studio.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop it, Lee. Look at that.
Look at this.
Man, this is a multimedia studio.
He's got
Plus, I got the tablet. I can bring up wireless.
Oh, yeah.
Are you good at editing stuff?
Edit it in.
I'm not the best. I'm still learning.
I need to look at hiring somebody to edit videos so they can actually get out and just send
you might want somebody a little better than me then.
Make videos for me. I can't seem to get anything out. What is it?
That's why God created Fiverr.
What's Fiverr?
It's a freelance site where people.
You can find people that edit your videos.
That's who
Really?
They
Yeah.
designed my labels for my my.
Hey, do they edit videos too? They do, don't they?
Yeah,
I
they
know they're-
do. I've one of those guys up in
They do
upstate
everything.
Vermont has a what do you call it, homesteader channel, and he explained all that he just sends it to somebody overseas that does it while we're sleeping, and the next morning it's on his site
Is ready to
for
go.
a nominal fee.
I have too much ownership in what I'm doing. I don't know if
I do too, but
just have a
the
hard
fact of the
time
matter
trusting
is,
somebody.
yeah, but if you take so much ownership with it, and you take so much ownership with everything else that you do in life, and you don't
Yeah,
have
that's the
time
problem.
to even put anything out, that's like, why am I taking so much ownership of this content where no one's seeing it? It's not even getting out there because I don't have time to. It's hard, you know. Maybe
Yeah, I mean, you're working all kinds of jobs, Greg. That's for sure. I can see that. You know, building the building and taking care of bees and doing all the other things you do.
7
You don't have-
kids.
You don't have
Yeah.
time for anything.
Well,
Yeah.
everyone's busy. I don't want people to think that I'm somehow busier than anybody else. We're all busy. You know, we all make time for the things that we need to make time for, but I can't seem to make time to get videos out there. But anyways, I'm not complaining.
I need a hunter that's got an infrared scope. You got an IR
hunter?
scope? Yes.
Put your steel trap out there.
What are we hunting at night?
Coyote.
Yeah, coyotes in the yard.
I had one 10 feet from my back door the other night. I caught on my trail cam.
They're not going to bite you.
Oh, well, yeah, but my
What do you have in the
chicken,
back? Chicken.
pigs,
Yeah.
and I've had raccoons and
That was a healthy looking coyote too.
it was,
That joker's been eating good somewhere.
Too much easy. You got too much easy
Who
food.
ate some of my chickens? One of the Bob's.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, Lee's gonna show it to you.
Yeah, there's coyotes are. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, that's.
It looks
a nice
almost like
looking
a
animal.
wolf. Almost like a wolf. This thing's huge.
That's literally like 10 feet from my back door.
Yeah.
He came back for seconds, Bob.
Yeah, well, it was enough that I went and bought another trail cam today to put in a different location.
Hail hives.
That's a little odd. It's so close to the back of the house there.
Yeah, well, what's happening is all of the wooded area around us is getting developed. So it's running all of the wildlife. So the first night I put my trail cam out, I had a possum and a raccoon. And, a possum and a fox. And then the next night it was a raccoon. And I was expecting to see my little raccoon buddy show up out there. And all of a sudden, boom, coyote walks by the camera. I'm like, oh, now we got to do something.
Well, Bob, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I know this is a family-friendly channel, but I've been to your place, and like many homesteads across America, most folks have the freedom and liberty to dispose of personal liquid right off the back porch or out the back door. You might thinking about finding you a new favorite pee spot back there where that coyotes come in and put you some of your human urine out there and see if that helps with that.
It might.
Antifreeze works great too.
Antifreeze.
Oh,
I didn't hear that.
I didn't. There's all kinds of tricks, but
if you've got raccoons and skunks and possums, I'm not going to take the liability on telling you how to get rid of that without a cage or lead. But if you Google old farmer trick for coons and put can of Coke, the rest will follow. But that won't help you with the coyotes.
So,
allegedly.
There is no season for coyotes, unlimited. You can kill as many coyotes as you want in South Carolina.
Yeah, they're thick here, which means you probably did you see a lot of rabbits this year, Bob?
No, I don't usually see rabbits here.
Yeah, coyotes are too thick.
Yeah, they've been eating all my chickens and ducks. They were just disappearing. And no blood, no feathers, just gone.
Just gone.
Roosters, everything gone. And I had 2 chickens. They started going. One day I had 4 roosters. The next day I came back, I had no roosters. So I went and bought a trail cam, and that's when I started seeing.
That's not good.
Wildlife. So
I don't know, some kind of urine or predator. I mean, coyotes don't have many predators.
So I need to start drinking more mead. so I can go out in the backyard more often.
Lee's got you covered on that one. Looks
Everybody
like.
ready for that discount code if he breaks out the mead?
Lee, you had a whole shelf there. It looked like you had a whole shelf of illuminated spirits there. It seemed like on the one shot there. Is that what that was there?
That's all the honey.
Oh, honey. Okay.
Honey and some of the little
That's
3D
pretty.
hives.
Yeah, it looks good.
Man, his studio is just top notch. Look at that.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Looks good, Lee.
Professional.
Wow.
Guys, I'm gonna check out. I just wanted to check in for a few minutes. I told my wife I would not be long, but we've been going. We started our meeting at the same time we normally do, and so I've been at it for 2 hours. So we started a little early actually. So
Yeah,
I need to probably go get off this
Like
thing.
me and Bob, we always in stream yard early, just sitting there talking, figuring different stuff out before we go live. And even on nights we don't go live, half the time we in stream yard.
Y'all are just the Iron Man of StreamYard and live streams, because I can't. I'm like 2 hours a week is about all I can really handle.
I think the last long one we had like 5 hours and 48 minutes.
And that was not even a planned thing. Yeah. Well, see, what happens typically is we start, and then 30 minutes in, we open it up, and then people come in, and we just start talking about different stuff, just like we're hanging out in our living room or something.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense, everybody watching, but it's not about y'all at that point. It just is about us talking, and and then the time just kind of goes, and then we're getting ready to get off, and then like Charlie or Mike or somebody will jump in, and then it's another 30 minutes, and before they're off, somebody else jumps in, and it just keeps going.
I think the last one we ended about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do you hold your? I mean, I might be the youngest one on the screen here, and I don't know how. I can't do it, so I'm not judging the strength of your all's bladders. But how in the world do you hold it that long?
I don't. If I gotta go, I'm going.
You don't?
Oh, you got a jug over there.
You got a bottle. You got a bottle sitting there.
I jump
Joke. No, I'll just get
trucker tricks. There we go.
And then come back. But
okay, I should have.
Greg, I'm going right now.
He's got the astronaut bag.
I was about to say that's not beer in that bottle he's drinking.
And Brian, you're out of town this week. Where are you at this week?
I'm in Cleveland.
So you're like out of town, but still in the same state.
I'm an hour away from home. I come up here, and it's on that like threshold that if I was like 20 or so minutes closer, I would drive it every day. But I just getting into the winter, I didn't want to mess around with getting any snowstorms and then having to drive into the snow belt and be late for work. So I just told my work, I said, with wintertime, I want a hotel. So I said, when it gets to spring and summer and all that stuff, I said, that'll be a different story. But, you
never know. You could start off at work and all of a sudden get a nor'easter going up there. And
well, it's already happened up here. When I was up here, they got a couple days before that snowstorm hit Buffalo, the lake effect came through this area. And we're like where I'm staying at, I'm a little bit west of it, and they still got like 6 inches. So, and a local guy that, I'm working with, he said as the winter goes on, the lake effect snow, it starts moving more west. And he said it deals with, he was explaining like Lake Erie water temperatures and all this stuff. So he said come February, March, where the lake effect is hitting east, and like Erie and all that stuff, he said it's going to go straight through Cleveland. And he said where they got 2-3 feet of snow, it'll be dumping that here. So I just don't want to drive in that kind of weather, that hour. I did it once before when I was traveling, and it took me like 3.5 hours to get from Cleveland back to my place.
Right.
You talking about all that cold weather up there today? Down here, we was 83 with a heat index.
Oh, stop!
87.
Yeah, where are you, Lee? You're in Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm about 10 miles southeast of Baton Rouge.
Similar
we
here.
We have outstayed our welcome, fellas. Obviously, they're rubbing it in the face. We're even worse than Bruce does.
I'd rather it just be. I want some cold weather though. It's in the mid to upper 70s here. Maybe
I like a little cool weather every now and then. I don't like it real cold.
Well,
my bees are gonna eat. They're eating through all their dang stores though.
Well,
man.
see, Bruce, and that brings up a topic that we were talking about. Is I'm treating it like it's spring, or I'm still feeding. I've got pollens sub out. If they're taking it, I'm giving it to them because
Oh my goodness.
once they get to that cold spot, they're going to shut off, right? They're going to stop on their own. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
How do you do this?
It's backwards. I think it's backwards.
Paul's getting as bad as Brad from Cajun Homestead. It's for the famous people to come on, then he pops in.
Well, I figured we needed one more for Hollywood Square, so I was trying to up the game here.
Oh, Brad?
Yeah, we need one more. One more in there to fill the screen out.
We do.
Brad
yeah,
just
all
I
their
don't know
hills
how
has. He's only about 10 miles from me.
Filament Corner. Is that Spanky?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
gonna send you something.
He sent me some.
He
he
was in
sent me some stuff earlier in the year, and I saw the comment there. I don't know that I know how to get a hold of him, but I finally got around to putting a mailbox up at the farm, and that PO box hasn't been active for probably a month. But I'll stop by the post office and see if they have a box there. So thanks for sending that, Spanky.
Oh my
There
God.
it is.
We're there. We got Matt on mine.
Matt came in.
Wow,
Look
look
at
at
the
that.
beard. Look at the beard, man.
How's it going, guys?
It's a story.
I had it completed.
We got it made.
That is
I
awesome.
talk to Matt more than he wants to talk to me. That often I call him. I'm like, hey, what about this? I need a stamp for my boxes for my swarm lure. And bam, look what I get. A nice stamp for my boxes
There you
made
go.
by Matt.
Matt, you
Does that
make
say Swarm Wrangler on it?
stamps too, Matt. You
Swarm
make stamps?
rustler. Swarm
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get off this because my phone's about dead, so I'm gonna have to go on the computer. So,
All right.
Oh, you're going.
Oh man, we're losing the squares. Thanks.
Right.
All right, Paul Anka.
X gets the
Have a good
square.
one, Chris.
X gets the square.
Right. First that.
Oh, goodness. Those are too funny.
You know Bruce wants to start the come on, Bruce, do it.
I definitely don't want to do that.
Come on. Come on, Bruce. You're an
Yeah.
Bruce is
can't.
A.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Come on, you do
No,
it.
no OHIO here.
This is pretty cool because I look around the screen here. I think I've got. I do well other than that joker in the bottom right, Matt. I've got honey from everybody at my place. Every single one of you have got. We got honey on the shelf there. So Matt's slacking. I have to get some from Matt and Sarah. Primarily Sarah because she does all the work. Matt's just there,
Right?
the face.
All my honey, it was weird. This year, it's all crystallized.
Try
Like, I had talked to-
just put some Pro Sweet in.
That's me. My spring honey, it'll
There it is, Hail
crystallize
Hive.
fast.
That's right. I see that one all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, cool.
But my fall honey, it stays liquid.
Oh wow.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Just the fall honey here, it stays liquid all the time.
Oh,
for me. That's
okay, I
from
thought
last
you had a
year.
magic trick.
It's
That's
the
from
rice
last
syrup he adds to it.
Mine's crystallizing too, if you see it.
But the spring honey,
Yeah,
it's
is.
solid. It don't move.
Yeah.
I just take my bottles and put them in my chicken egg incubator. Take the rotator out of it, set the temperature, and every couple of days I'll just flip the bottles over.
I think
Actually, I just pulled this one out of the oven. I'm putting this in the oven with just the oven light on, not the burner or anything. And it gets warm enough or whatever to decrystallize the honey. So I've got about 20 bottles of this, right? You can see the level of crystallization sideways, I guess, in this right now.
Yeah.
But the spring honey really crystallized. So I've got it in the oven with just the light on, and I found that's the best that decrystallizes.
So your spring honey crystallizes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It has a lot more privet in it down here.
Oh,
Ours does too. Yeah. Spring
The
honey
late summer
crystals.
stuff didn't crystallize, but the spring was definitely went to crystal
Bruce?
quick.
I got a bunch of honey from Bruce, and we had the fellas that came to finish the concrete. They all asked, "Do you have honey for sale? Do you have honey for sale?" I gave them a bunch of Bruce's honey. Whatever magic you're doing with your honey, Bruce, it's not crystallizing.
It's called tallow.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally, like our tallow or our goldenrod, to me, it don't really crystallize.
Well, some people say the tallow crystallizes, but mine doesn't. I mean, I assume that's what it is because that's what I'm harvesting, and it will eventually, but I'm still pouring it in my 5-gallon buckets into my my bottling tank, and when I pour it in there, it's still liquid, so it hasn't crystallized
Wow.
since July when we harvested July, whatever day that was, early in July. So by now where I store it in the 5-gallon buckets, it gets a little cool in the wintertime, and so it'll probably start crystallizing here a little bit. But the privet, it'll be hard like a rock. I mean, it'll be very solid.
Yeah.
Or the early spring,
spring.
whatever the spring honey is, it'll be very pretty solid. But that tallow never really.
Mark Miller said yesterday that he's put his in his in a refrigerated room, and for I think he said 2 or 3 months it's been in there, and it has not crystallized at all. Being in,
I think he said what, 28 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it freezes, that's the best way. That's actually the best way to store honey is to freeze it. It stops everything. It just freeze it, and it'll. I mean, it's the best way to keep it from. That's what they say, like with your comb honey and stuff, to freeze it because it won't crystallize over time. But if you get it up to like those 40, 45 or 50 degrees, it'll turn into creamed honey or crystallized honey very fast.
Yeah.
But frozen, it just stops it. It just stops the whole process. I think Bob Benny talks about that in some of his videos, how that's the best way. It doesn't lose enzymes and nothing. It doesn't break down if it's frozen. It stays in a good situation.
Our problem here was July, where we usually have dry weather. We had wet weather.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to the end of July to pull the late summer stuff, oh man, I've got stuff that's starting to get bubbles on top of it from fermenting from the end of the summer.
Yeah, that's rough. You probably get the tallow over there too, but we usually harvest. I've started harvesting in late May for the spring stuff and late June or early July for the tallow stuff, and then after that I don't usually harvest after that. So but yeah, we had a lot of rain right after we harvested, so we got it in just in time. But
now, like a lot of mine, to keep it from crystallizing what I'm going to sell after I bottle everything up, I have a full size upright freezer that I converted into a honey warmer.
That works good.
I've got a heat lamp in there with a thermo controller.
Yeah, some people just put a light bulb in the freezer like that, and it'll work. Keeps it decrystallized.
Yeah.
But
I got a little 5
Lee,
volt.
what's the name of that thermostat? Is that like an Inkbird, or what do you call them things?
It's not an Inkbird brand, but it's basically like that. I got it on Amazon.
Some kind of AC thermostat you just plug into, or
that's what I got in my refrigerator, is an Inkbird.
Have you guys ever seen the 5-gallon blankets you put on the 5-gallon buckets to decrystallize it?
Bruce, I think Santa Claus is bringing me one of them.
I did a redneck version of that this year.
I just put, if I ever have any that crystallizes, I just put it down in a 5-gallon bucket. I'll just put the jars down in a 5-gallon bucket, or the bottles in a 5-gallon bucket, and put that blanket around, put the lid on there for a couple of days, and it totally decrystallizes it. You can do it. It decrystallizes honey in there in liquid form. But even if you just need to decrystallize some bottles, you put them in that 5-gallon bucket, put a lid on with the blanket on there, the heating blanket, it'll decrystallize that honey right down. Works perfectly.
I took 2 heating pads and bungee corded them to the side of the 5-gallon pail, and that worked pretty well. Same
way to redneck engineer it. Same principle, but it works good. Guys, I need to get off. Really, I've got to go. I got some things I got to take care of, but I need to hop off a little bit. It's been fun, man. It's fun to check in. Thanks for filling our slot, guys.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you later. Nice to meet everybody. I've seen some of you, haven't seen all of you, but good to see you guys. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right. Good night, Bruce.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'll see you guys too. I gotta call
well, Brian,
down
we
home.
probably ought to get off here. We kind of wrecked their show. Let them get back to it there.
Yeah, look, we're down to 100. We done lost 20.
I need an email from you too yet.
Bruce left. We lost 24 viewers. He must have 24 YouTube accounts watching at one time.
That's right. Yeah. I'll see you all. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, Brian.
All right, Brian.
Bye, Brian.
See you in a
See
month.
you guys. I'm gonna jump off here too. I just want to say thanks for what you guys do, and looking forward to seeing most of you. Maybe Bob at Hive Life. We'll see if he can sneak in the back door there somewhere.
I got a ticket. Well, and also Grammy said her husband may not come, so if one way or another, I should have a ticket. So
gotcha.
I'll see you next month at Hive Life. That's for sure.
Yeah, you bringing boxes to sign again, Greg?
Yep, we're gonna have a big box display. The cool thing about that is I actually haven't announced it yet, so I guess you guys will hear it. You'll hear it here first. We're setting up the community hive again for everyone to sign. and then we're going to auction that off for the scholarship funds. So we're going to pull all that money right back to the kids. So,
Ready to sign.
And if you want to carry some swarm lure in your store, hook me up. Call me.
What do you?
I work with
Yep.
I work with Ricky Rourke a little bit too. That he's building a hive for us to auction off as not to auction off. Well, I guess to be on the live auction as well. So cool. I'm working with Ricky Rourke to build one of the horizontal hives or whatever to put into that as well.
That's cool. That's neat. Well, hail hives, or I keep seeing you talk about the learning yard on the road thing. That would be really cool. I'd be interested.
Come on down to Louisiana, man. Me and Lee are down here waiting for you to come.
Yeah. See, finally, Lee, are you making it up to Hive Life? Or did
yeah. I'm up there with Ricky.
Yeah. Oh, you said that. I'm brain dead. Got it. Cool.
Hey, within 100 miles, we got Mr. Ed, we got Mike Berry, we got Dirt Rooster, we got Lee, we got me. You've got a bunch of people down here that are waiting for you to come down.
We got Brad just north of us.
And Brad, Cajun Homestead.
I usually get out to every other part of the country other than that little hot, sweaty area. So maybe I'll have to get down there.
You have to come down here in July.
Need to come in May, April, May.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin. Do you know Austin Rhodes? You know who I'm talking about, Homesteader, right? On YouTube.
Austin Rhodes. I don't think so.
Well, he's a big. I think it's
not Austin.
You ain't talking about Justin Rhodes.
Justin Rhodes.
Justin, not Austin. Sorry.
No, Justin.
Yeah. Yep.
He did something like that where he had a bus and his family went from homestead to homestead to homestead, learning how to
Great farm tour, American farm tour.
Yep.
Yeah, the American farm tour. And
maybe we'll load up the family truckster and all family of 9 hits the road to go visit the beekeepers. That'd be pretty cool.
But he doesn't.
7 kids, you got to have a pretty big bus, right, Greg?
Yeah. Yep.
It had to be a tour bus.
That had to be a tour bus. Can you imagine that? 3 miles a gallon. Woo.
Yeah, that big Prevost. Yeah, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad, I'm heading east, then north.
All right, it was good
I'll probably go up
you guys. I'm going to jump
59.
off here.
All right, Greg. We'll see you later.
Have a good night. See you in January.
Yeah, looking at my stream deck here, it has a countdown built in that I've programmed into it. The night of the meet and greet, which is going to be on January the 5th, we have 29 days left.
29 days.
And then I got the email from Cayman today. It's 30 days to actual Hive Life.
I'm hoping I get my settlement before then.
So, Matt, you got the winter garden in?
I got the greenhouse. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you grow in the winter?
I don't know how
in your greenhouse this time.
Minnesota gets kind of cold up there to put stuff in the ground.
Yeah, it was snowing today again. The greenhouse we grow, normally it's like all your cold crops. You can get lettuce for quite a while, collards, kale. I don't care for kale, but we do a ton of spinach. This year we're behind and we only did spinach. But spinach is good. You can put it in anything.
So I've got spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, radishes in the ground and all right now, lettuce and all. But my cauliflower grew like this big and then stopped for 4 weeks.
Really?
And it's just been sitting there about this big. Well, we got 83 degrees down here right now.
I was just going to say, you guys, it got pretty hot. That stops it.
My pak choy is already bolting.
Yeah, that's
Just
crazy.
What can you do? Just as far as like that's something I always wanted to do, but it seems like I got tied up in the bees and everything else, and then it was kind of like yeah.
Well, that's why I got into bees to start with, is to pollinate my garden and my fruit trees. Well, now I'm more into bees than I am into garden, but I'm still trying to tag along a little bit there.
Well,
Yeah.
So, Matt, are you trying to sell some of that stuff to your local customers or your garden?
No, I got 4 kids. They eat all. And plus, I'm pretty filled out too myself.
I watch all Sarah's canning videos and jelly videos and all that kind of stuff, man.
I'm sitting here And I'm looking in your pantry. I'm like, well, he's got like vegetables and stuff. Matt should be a pretty healthy guy, I'm like, where's he putting these pounds on? They must.
You can eat all the healthy food you want, but when you eat too much of it, you're gonna get big no matter what.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I used to be 400 pounds, man, so I know.
I lost 300. I lost 300 pounds too.
Get a divorce?
No, it's been the same 30 pounds 10 different times.
That used to be my dad saying, yeah, I lost 200 pounds of ugly fat. I said, what'd you do? He said, I got a divorce. And then I was like, oh, okay, Dad. So, yeah, it's, let me see. Hopefully the Hive drawn smoker, extractor, and uncapper tank will do good in the auction for the kids, DC. Yep. I mean, that's all the silent auction goes towards those scholarships, right? Paul?
Yes, that's true. So the silent auction stuff all goes towards the next. This year was based upon last year's money that they raised, and then what they raised this year will go towards next year's scholar. I say scholarships, but Cayman likes to call them sponsorships. So
it should grow exponentially.
Yeah. Well, I think there's 26. I want to say this year. So I actually last year I had sponsored Ian Stepler to come down as a speaker, and then he didn't show. So the money that I guess I gave whatever I said, came and use it as you want to. So and then later we were going to put it in a silent auction. I just throw it in there and just sponsor the kids this year. So I guess I'm sponsoring a kid this year. And then, like I said, Ricky's putting together a hive. He and I are splitting the cost of one of his horizontal hives to put there this year to sponsor another one next for 2024.
Well, that's nice.
What were you showing, Lee?
One of Spanky's little 3D printed smokers.
Oh, okay.
So it's been, wow, this was a crazy chat tonight.
Yeah. If you saw Spanky's video from a couple weeks ago, he was at Ricky's place too, or Ricky actually came to his place, I guess. And Spanky made a beautiful little hive or whatever of his of one of Ricky's hives, and it was really kind of cool.
I like the horizontal hive that he printed, but I like that cathedral style hive that he printed too.
That he does some good work. Actually be used.
Yeah.
He
does nice work on that 3D printer.
He does a great job, and that was kind of cool. And I think that's going to be for sale at the Hive Life conference and the auction as well to sponsor some more kids as well.
That and if y'all get a chance, get some of Spring's soap too. She makes some good soap.
You got the Etsy. You know what? Let me speak to this, guys, real quick. Speaking of Spanky and his mom's Etsy, do you know all of the stuff that he sent? As far as I know, all these gift boxes that have come to me and Lee and
he sent a lot. I've seen a lot of videos like that. Yeah,
for free. He hasn't charged anybody anything. So it would be nice if you, if we went and bought some soaps and stuff from their Etsy. I'm sure it would help them out. And they pay it forward pretty hard,
I always give Spanky a hard time on this chat or whatever, because I mess with him about dominating the conversation when he's sitting down quiet in the corner the whole time. But yeah.
But you know what?
He always has a lot to add when he does open his mouth. He does have a lot to add. I have to give him that. Yes.
Hey, Spanky, if you can text me the link to that Etsy store, I can pull it through my computer and we'll make a post for that.
And I've talked to him on the phone several times, and he'll talk on the phone. He talks on the phone pretty good.
I've talked to him when I'm
last time he was on.
He's called me at work, and we've talked.
Last time he was on here, his mom was really sick. I was wondering how she was doing.
She seems to be doing better. She's been in the chat all night.
Okay. So, she sounded like to me she had, I don't know, COVID or some bad respiratory infection of some sort.
Yeah, Donnie is hot honey is good. And speaking of Donnie, today we announced it last night for the week, but since we're doing a live tonight, today is Donnie's birthday.
Happy birthday, Donnie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Donnie.
So
Yeah, y'all tasted Spanky's hot honey. I think it sent a couple people or whatever out of the room to get something to drink, didn't it?
oh yeah, it's warm. My hot honey is not as hot as that honey.
I know I've tried some of his hot honey that he sent me before, but I just got some in the mail today that he's made that I got from the Hillbilly Hives Live. And this says infused with Scotch bonnet and ghost peppers. I'm kind of scared to even open it.
Ooh, that is hot.
I'm gonna do a small batch of Carolina Reaper honey. I've got 2 Carolina Reapers. That should be enough for a small batch, I would think. They've been drying, so
take a whiff of that and singes the hairs in your nose, huh?
yeah, those are not fun from what I gather. I've never had one, so we're gonna see. It'll be a learning experience. Did you get the link?
Just got the link. I'm about to drop that in.
We've dropped it a few times, and it's getting close to Christmas, so it'd be nice if you need an extra gift for somebody, go buy them some homemade soap or something. Be nice little gesture. And
He's got that hot honey in there. I'm gonna get my uncles with that.
I just dropped that link in the comments. Anybody want to go check it out?
Is Spanky and his mom coming to Hive Life?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So you got to go to their Etsy store to get whatever you want from them.
Yep. Oh, they've got honeys. I'm looking at it right now. Honey, different soaps. Reasonable too. It's not like really high priced. So
I tell you what, since we're sitting here doing this, wrong screen.
He's got the fire starter honey. Let me see. I just switched to the second page.
I can bring it up right here. Got some of the honeys on here. Got some soaps. Bunch of different soaps. Got some good stuff. Y'all go check them out.
I think I'm gonna put me together some different soaps.
So I'll reach behind me like Lee reaches behind him and say, huh?
You got your Hail Hive sign.
I do.
Looks
Came out
good.
pretty well for my little laser that could. Don't get Matt turning around with his lasers.
I didn't say anything. I was just showing what I have.
What is that little thing?
I don't think the screen's big enough to fit that in.
Look at and you just got a new laser, the Thunder laser.
Well, it seems like everybody's
has been a pain in my rear today. A pain.
Epilogue.
Yeah.
But now, see, he's got a new girlfriend over to the side called Thunder Laser that he's in love with right now.
That thing saved my butt today.
I mean, what's the cut area on that, or the working area for the Thunder?
I've never even looked. Let me see.
Well, I don't have this huge merch store where I've got, stainless steel coolers and all that kind of stuff that I've got to sell on my merch store, but I guess Bob's going to be laser engraving Swarm Wrestler bottles or something here shortly.
I don't know what I'm going to, I was talking to Matt today. He's like, Bob, to up your game. Laser.
35 by 24 or 26.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
But it's got a pass through as well, right? So you've really got an infinite space, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's got the pass through.
So that's
so next time I need to do the side of my house, I need to go to Matt instead of Bob. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I would recommend. Hey, you notice I bought this from Matt, and I have a laser.
There you go.
his video on how to do it. So probably could have maybe gave it the old college try, but I wouldn't have had this nice walnut block. You know, it came out.
That was my fire starter.
Huh?
That was my fire starter.
Fire starter. So he charged me double because he doesn't have fire starter now. Yes.
Yeah.
But you know,
get him to make me something down here.
It's a good, good little sideline deal, to have a little bit of extra income from different things. It doesn't hurt anything.
No, there's plenty of room.
Oh yeah,
anything. There's plenty of room in anything out there.
Well,
and Lisa.
The realtor told me she had like a $25 to $30 limit per customer. So now that just like threw my whole thing off. So now it's like, well, what do you get that for a realtor for closing that is generic, where you still make something, but yet at the same time, it's nice enough that you would want to present that to somebody.
Yeah.
So I've kind of put that on hold at the moment.
You got to do something with a female and something with a male. Typical,
And you can get some little wooden round things and make keychains out of them and engrave their name on it for the keys to their new house.
Yeah.
So I guess it all comes down to which hobbyist do you want to be?
Right. That's true. I mean,
spread yourself too thin and you're not good at anything, right?
Right. I mean, I can do certain things, right? Like tumblers and stuff like that. I've done those, so I feel comfortable doing them. It's just a matter of, it's got to make sense. Anything you do, right? It's got to make sense. Well, is it worth the time? Am I just doing it to do it, or am I doing it to actually make a little bit of money? And how fast are you going to turn that product, right? That's kind of the whole thing. Is like, well, I don't want to spend $500 for it to sit on my shelf and not be able to sell it. So that's but she said she had 13 closings next week. So if she wants something that she could give to anybody and it wouldn't matter who they are, so.
Dude, a bottle opener and a wine opener, done deal.
Yeah.
Put it in a little box.
Always makes a great gift.
Yeah, I don't have enough. Yeah, we talked about that too. To do.
I'll sell you some. How much you want?
We'll get together and bring him a 55-gallon drum up and deliver it at Hive Life too.
Yeah, Bob's always the wheeler dealer, whatever. And hey, here we go.
Gotta flip it. So, but anyway, guys, it is 10:04. We've been on for 2 hours, roughly. A little bit less. Yeah, I know, right? Well, for a night that we weren't even planning to go live, it was just opportunity. So
yeah, that thing was giving me such a hard time, and now I figured out what the problem was. $1,500 later, and I'm like, I need to get away from this. This is not helping my blood pressure or nothing. I looked at my phone and I saw you were live, and I hopped on. I didn't even go in the chat. I just went and hit the live right away.
Went right in the live.
Well, glad we could bring your blood pressure down this evening, Matt. That was we'll send you a bill.
Yeah. I'll tell Sarah to watch for it.
Right.
We brought his blood pressure down, but since we're getting ready to close too, everybody keep James, Chris, and Ed's wife in y'all's prayers with the heart problems.
Yep. Sure. And
I didn't see to James. I saw him say earlier about open heart, but did he say when? I guess it wasn't scheduled yet.
He said he didn't know when yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have it scheduled yet. So, we always try to lift people up.
Most definitely.
And I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, in the end of the day, we're hanging out, just buddies hanging out online.
Yeah, Chuck ain't been eating his bag of popcorn tonight up there. He's been quiet in the corner up there like Spanky, man. What's going on?
Well, nothing really much. I mean, it's raining and foggy, and
I think he was just quiet because he was starstruck. Everybody come in.
I wouldn't say that, but
we got raided. But
yeah.
I mean, it's nice. I mean, we still have 50 people watching.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Bob, is I'm like Brad. Whenever the Dirt Rooster comes on, I got to jump on, huh? Is that what you're saying?
I'm surprised Brad didn't jump in tonight. Hadn't seen him in weeks, and I was like, "Oh, the stream team's on. Here comes Brad." Oh no, it's Mr. Paul tonight.
I was trying to get him to come in and fill out the Hollywood squares, man, but he wouldn't jump on.
Well, you know, he's got some health issues too, so we need to keep him in our prayers too.
Yes, most definitely.
So he's been fighting. He said on our show that he's had cancer, so he's been going through treatments or has done treatments. So
That's terrible.
And Brian's been out there in Colorado smoking his own stuff, so he didn't get on either tonight, huh?
Brian didn't jump in tonight.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Eating his own cinnamon honey and smoking his own hemp, right?
Smoking the hemp.
Yeah, he told me last night hemp and cannabis is two different things. So he gave me an education last night, I guess. So
Well, I mean, hemp was grown back in the 40s and 50s, I think it was. I read, and that's where our rope comes from.
Yep, hemp rope. They have a lot of it in Nebraska when I went up there.
And all.
yeah, they're smoking a lot of rope. Yeah, that's what it is.
I didn't think they smoked that stuff nowhere. I just thought we ate gummy bears nowadays.
Yeah, y'all talk about gummies.
Now we've come full circle on the weight issue. It's the gummy bears you're eating.
No, I got a story on that. You're talking about the gummies. My mom is 69. She turned 69 years old in October. She has never done any drug in her entire life.
Uh-oh.
Well, she's been having trouble sleeping, different pains. So my sister and my old lady
Bears.
decided to play a little joke on her. So they all got together in the living room one night, my brother-in-law, everybody, and they pulled out a bottle and said, "Oh, y'all try these new candies." So they passed them around. It was 800 milligram gummies.
Oh wow!
It didn't take my mom long. She was just kind of wobbling around on the couch. She couldn't stop eating pizza. Normally she one piece of pizza. She ate like 5 pieces and kept going back. She said, "I can't get enough." Well, we all walk out on the porch smoking. We hear a noise. We turn around and look inside. My mom done walked across the living room, and she got like a big potted plant in the dining room. She's over there like a cat digging in the dirt.
Digging in the dirt.
She's looking for a 2 a.m. run to Taco Bell, huh?
I'll tell you one thing. She said that's the best night of sleep she's had in years.
Oh, I bet.
Oh man, my daughter pulled a trick like that on us. So she came to the Christmas. We usually get together on Christmas Eve, and it was probably 3 years ago. She brought some edible chocolate chip cookies, and I ate a cookie, a whole cookie, because I didn't know. I was like, I just grabbed, chocolate chip cookies, threw one down, and I was sitting on the couch, man. I could not pick my legs up. I couldn't pick my feet up to get up. They're like, "Hey, Dad, come." No, ain't happening. I'm good right here where I'm sitting. I was just like a zombie, man. I could not move. It was crazy. So that is not good herb etiquette, DC. So yeah, and it was a wild Christmas Eve for sure that time. Yeah, especially if they're not made right? So if they're not made exactly correct, then some people get a stronger dose than other people. So it's just kind of like knocking you out. Not that I'm a weed connoisseur, but because it is illegal here, so I don't really know much about that. But
I was looking for it. Somebody was just asking, did I have video? I'll have to look on the other camera. I didn't take a video, but I do have a picture of her sitting on the couch, just kind of leaned over it, real relaxed.
Oh, come on. You can't dish your mom online there, Lee. That's not right.
Oh, yeah. She'd laugh.
Did you see that? Blaine said, "Dang it, I bet Bob would have given some really good discount codes that night." The thing is, the funny part is, if you watch this stream, there is like a standing discount code on the website of 10%. And I have been posting it, and people order and they don't use the code still, which I appreciate. I mean, it's 10%, but most of the time the people don't even put the discount code in. So,
well, before you put the labels on, you had a good price on it, and you mentioned it that night. The next day, I went on to get it, and it was at the full price.
that's full price on the website. by the time the labels came in and everything. But $15.99 is still half of what it is everywhere else. I mean, so if you buy it at Hilco or somewhere else, they're paying full retail on the. I don't even know if it's on Hilco's site yet. I know that he's got it, but
I'll get some from you come spring.
Yep, no worries. Hopefully, I'm still in business in spring.
You'll have something else by then, Bob, I'm sure.
Well, hopefully, I plan to try to build a brand. It'd be nice. Could have feeding stimulant and not a feeding supplement. I got a feeding supplement, Apis Biologics, but a feeding stimulant.
Got that too.
By springtime, it'll probably kick off a little bit better then. Everybody looking.
Well, I know you've been talking about being an equipment store, but man, you got to move a lot of product to make money at that.
Yes, I mean you got, especially if you have a brick and mortar location, right? That's the thing, is because all your profits go in to pay the lights and the building and everything else. So
overhead.
Yeah, the overhead. So it's like I get down with Matt's philosophy right there. My basement,
Yeah.
They'll come pick it up.
Even over Thanksgiving, I was down in Florida and I stopped by Ray Latner's place or whatever. He's got a dating store there in High Springs, Florida. I spent a couple days in Destin. I tried to get online, I guess, while you all were in Destin there for a little while, and then moved on down to go to Gainesville for Thanksgiving. And Ray Latner's got a store there outside of High Springs, which is not too far out of Gainesville. And he's got a lot of product and everything in there, but yeah, it's a lot of overhead and carrying inventory and having a brick and mortar place. And I can see where you've got, everything he's selling out of there is retail, and it's not, that's why it's nice going to Hive Life where people offer you some, 15% discounts or whatever on the buying stuff while you're there. But, you got to move a lot of stuff at retail price in order to make money out of a retail establishment.
Well, yeah. And everywhere wants you to do tens of thousands of dollars to, like, if I wanted to be, not necessarily with Premier, but let's say Premier wants you to order basically a pallet, right?
Right.
And even with the swarm lure, when I started, I didn't know how many I was going to sell. It's a gamble, right? So if I start carrying Premier, then I got to get it shipped here. I've got a pallet of it sitting out there. I don't know if anyone's going to order it from me. They might just order it straight from Premier, So cut the middleman out,
And then look at Global Patty, the way Cayman was talking. If he wanting to order that, he has to order so many pallets at a time.
Yes.
Before they'll basically accept the bulk order.
Well, even y'all were talking about bottles the other night. I've been looking at, and I use those honeycomb hourglass bottles or whatever. Well, y'all have seen it.
Right.
And I've got these at 8, 16 and £1.5 and 2 pound bottle size is what I typically use. And I called the people that was, I looked on the bottom. I get them from Man Lake, but looked on the bottom and it's CSI. And you got to buy a truckload from them in order to get a discount or anything from them. Well, I'm sorry. I'm a, what do they say? Hobbyist beekeeper. I'm not buying no truckload of bottles or whatever to come down here to Louisiana. But,
in most cases, I can pretty much tell you that Man Lake's getting them from Gamber Container. That's where they're getting them from.
I just got my email from Gamber this morning. They mailed mine out, so they should be here either tomorrow or Friday, I'm figuring.
Yeah. Because
I'm still buying from Gamber, or no, I'm still buying them from Man Lake, or actually this year there's another.
Man Lake's buying them from Gamber, and Gamber's buying them from that company that you're.
Yeah, CSI.
CSI by the Tractor and Trail Loads.
Yeah, well, I went on Gambert and they don't have these.
I'm not. Yeah,
I don't
remember seeing.
By a year.
Well, last year that's the thing. Last year at Hive Life, I bought 2 boxes of 1 pound bottles, which were 290 bottles, I think, to the box, and I bought 1 box of these 8 ounce bottles. And there's like 525 to this box. Yeah. Well, that's about all that's going to fit. I've about had to fly my wife home along with an extractor from Hilco to fit in my pilot. That's about all I could bring home. And she was going to have to get a ticket on American Airlines or whatever to get back home from Hive Life last year. But So this year, that's why I was joking with Lee about, hey, Lee, how much room you got in your truck? And I found out Lee's only got a little Nissan Rogue. He can't bring back stuff in my life for me.
There is a company somewhere around Richmond, Virginia.
Webstront sells bottles. They don't sell the one with the honeycomb, but they do have an hourglass one like that.
Hold on. Who's the people that at Hive Life that's got this year? I think that's Hidden Hollow Honey Company. That's the ones this year that are going to have those bottles. I don't think I can share on here, can I? If I'm just a guest, can I, Lee?
Yeah, you should be able to share, and then I can pull it up on screen.
Let me see. How do I do that? Well, anyway.
Hit the present button, I guess.
Well, anyways, I'll just tell you that there's they had put a Hidden Hollows Honey Company or whatever has those bottles or whatever that I use this year for a good deal.
Click on present, and then the drop box comes up, and you'll click on share screen.
Let me see. Present. Share screen.
And just make sure whatever is on the screen is something you want to share. Just let me know when you're ready. It'll throw it up in the bottom before it goes on live. I'll have to bring it in live.
Well, Wolf will go this. I'm no Lee here for sure as far as sharing stuff and whatever.
Well, Webstront has this one here. It's a 1 pound. They got them for 43 cents a piece individual, but if you buy them by the case, they're like 35 cents a piece. That's before shipping, of course. But
are the lids separate?
Probably. Yeah, showing different lids down here, right? 38,400. I think that's the one for flip tops.
Yeah, but 38 millimeter should be.
Yeah, 38,400.
So how much are those? Well, how many's in a case? That's the question. Well, actually, it's more like that, probably. 176. And it doesn't say how many are in a case.
Right across the top, 1,700 per case.
That's the same that we get from Gamber container, 1,700 case. So you buy one box of lids will last you a little while, and then you just have to re-up your cases of bottles. And they have like all kinds of different bottles. So it's just a matter of finding which ones you want in here, right?
Okay, maybe I've got this now as far as sharing goes.
That's not a bad price right there for those ones we use. Right there.
How many is in there?
$295 for $84.
Yeah, it would actually probably work out better because I paid $118 the other day for $321.
And they've got the 16, the 12, and the 24 ounce in that size, I guess.
I may end up calling, getting a quote from them to see how much shipping and everything would be and see what's going to work out.
So the 11 ounce.
Put it right in your cart. It calculates everything in there for you. And then they'll have coupons once in a while you can throw in there too.
I
go through them with a lot of our stuff.
I got to write that down.
Webstront stores.
Let me know when you're ready to bring that up, Paul.
Yeah, I thought I hit that.
Yeah, it's showing at the bottom of my screen. You just got to let me know when you're ready to share, and I'll bring it up on the live.
Okay, go ahead. And I don't know if I can up and down or whatever.
Yeah, you should be able to move your screen, just like click through it like you normally do.
Where are they located at?
Well, it's not letting me do this. I don't know how to do all this stuff, but let me go back to present.
Hey, you spell that other place called Web Restaurant or
Webstront?
Web
Restaurant. Actually, I just bought some bottles, some glass bottles from them.
WEBSTAURANT.com. So
I get a lot of our glassware from there.
How's their shipping? Is there?
Yeah. And aluminum trays and all that kind of stuff. They got a lot of nice deals on.
But
4 days they ship it, and then if anything's broken, I just call them, and they're like, "Well, how many?" And if it's 2 glasses out of 36, they'll replace the whole box.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they do it for me anyways, but I would think they would do it for you.
But I mean, is it expensive shipping? I guess would be the
No
question.
I ordered, what was it now? It was mason jars. I ordered 12 of those boxes, and there's 12 in each box, and the shipping I think was $50 or 48, something like that.
That's not bad.
No, not for those big jars. It's the one with the handles on it, so they're not small and they're awkward.
Right. All right, guys. Well,
okay. So Lee, here they've got the. It doesn't show actually the bottles, but it shows the prices on Hive Life deals. So I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing.
Yeah. 16-ounce case of 290 with lids, 52 cents.
With lids for $152. So that makes them 52 cents a piece. And that's those hourglass ones that I showed you before. So the 8-ounce ones, $575. That's the same ones you get for 44 cents each with the lid.
Well,
so the lids are about 10 cents a piece already.
Yeah, you're definitely going to save on the shipping. So that's where they break you off.
Okay, and that's what I did last year. I mean, I went there, and I ended up buying my bottles out there. I bought a Hilco extractor or whatever, and put that in the back of my car. I bought some wood boxes from John Hill as well, and then a bunch of bottles from Man Lake and some Ultra Bee Patty.
How do you like Hilco's boxes?
Actually, I liked them. There was maybe, I bought about 10 of them last year just to see, and there's maybe 2 of them out there that had a little bit of issue, but most of them worked just fine. And then I put them together, and I'm trying out that oh crap, what's the stuff called? The brown stuff that you dip it in rather than painting them.
Oh, the Eco Wood.
Eco Wood.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, the Eco Wood. I'm trying that out. I've got Eco Wood on a couple boxes that I've had for about 2 years, and so far so good. I know, Bob, you kind of did one that you said it kind of warped, but I don't think you glued and screwed yours together at that time, right?
Well,
you just kind of nailed them together.
Well, yeah, but some of them I bought already pre-assembled, so that's like some of the issue, I think.
Yeah.
So last year, Hive Life, I mean, I bought some boxes. I bought that stuff. I bought some Premier Foundation. I bought several things. So it's a good place to get good deals on stuff and bring it all home.
Let me see. Let me drop, while we got so many people on here, I'm going to drop a little site on here. And if you use Stream 10 at the checkout, you'll save 10%.
Not Ed.
Pop that in there.
Bob, it was $52 to ship all that.
Yeah, when I looked at, I went skiing last year and was trying to buy some bottles coming back home through Marshall, Texas. There's a Man Lake in Marshall, Texas, and they didn't have what I wanted. But then to ship it was $86 a box of those bottles to come in. I'm like going, oh my goodness, that's ridiculous.
Heather, like I was looking at some stuff a while back on uline.com for like a half gallon and gallon size jugs. And they wanted more for the shipping than what I was going to pay for the items.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it was $115 for the bottles and $86 for shipping. So by the time you're doing it, you're almost doubling the price of a bottle.
Yeah.
So Uline gotten in a pissing match with their shipping carrier, and anyways, they divided, and Uline is outrageous in their shipping now, and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, I won't get anything else from them anytime
Well,
soon.
No.
I don't think it's just them. I think there's a lot of people that are having shipping issues and shipping prices or whatever is just going out the door. It's especially when you get something that has a huge volume but low weight, like the bottle boxes or something like that, that really cost you a lot of money.
I know earlier this year when I bought the case of 321 bottles and the 1,700 lids, it was like $138 just for shipping. But this time when I went back and bought just the bottles, it was only $48 for shipping.
We have a minimum every time we order is 3 pallets of stuff coming in. So they always bring a truck, semi truck in, and they've been putting it, they divide it out and put it on UPS, and it's way more. And I had to call because I have a certain rep I talk to back and forth because we buy so much stuff. And I called him. I'm like, you guys got to get back onto the truck. I'm not going to keep paying for these shipping prices. And he said they got rid of that carrier. They're not doing it no more. They're going through UPS. So they do it all in small increments, and that's why it adds up so fast. It's crazy amount.
And that's when you're like, yeah, well, I'll have to look elsewhere because the shipping drives the price, drives you out of business.
We actually hooked up my car or the Suburban and trailer and went out there and picked up the 3 pallets and then drove them back, and it was a quarter of the price. Right. And that was counting my time and my wife's time and our fuel. So.
Yeah, well, Bob, was it you or was it Jason that was talking about getting with Rob at LaRobbie's about shipping stuff?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay. Well, I know, Rob at LaRobbie's, he ships a bunch of those Instavaps and stuff out. So I think whoever it was starting to trying to get a e-commerce business going. It may have been Jason at Bohemia Bees or whatever, and trying to ship a bunch of stuff out.
No, it was
Bruce Jenny, right? With his honey.
Yeah, it was honey. Yeah.
Was it Bruce?
It was Bruce.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, shipping honey, I shipped honey and it was like $12.95 to ship 2 pounds of honey. And I'm like going, good night. You can't make a business that way.
Yeah. So before 2020 happened, 2 pounds of honey would ship for $4.
Yeah.
I know, I think it was Matt. You the one turned me on to pirateship.com.
Yeah, Pirate Ship and ShipStation. We use ShipStation now. We get a better deal.
Yeah, I'm using Pirate Ship.
I might have to check out the ShipStation, but I know the Pirate Ship, you get a big discount on the USPS and UPS shipping on that site.
Yep.
Yeah, unless you're getting your customers to pay for the shipping on top, at a premium, then you're not going to sell stuff because you can't afford to, sell $10, $15 to $20 items or whatever, and then pay $12 to ship a $12 item.
Right.
Yep.
Why I'm trying to
keep ever since 2020.
Yeah, we really kind of got screwed when 2020, didn't we? I mean, the whole world kind of turned upside down a little bit for us, didn't it?
And it's still that way.
Yeah, I was about to say it's still going.
Still got the ripple effect.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
suppose if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button, everyone. I'm gonna hop off here.
Yeah,
I better get back to work.
Already done.
Work. On what?
Yeah.
Dessert? You're gonna go eat some dessert?
I haven't touched that one yet since I sat down. I got 300 freaking 20-ounce mugs to go through yet.
300? What's the average time per mug?
That one I think it was just a hair under 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Most of the
I
time
got to get it done by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, you're pulling all-nighter.
Not all night. I got tricks on my sleeve.
So you can do multiple.
No, that's down. That one will be down. They're overnight in the parts even.
What's electronic went out of it?
Nope. A bunch of the gantry. Somehow that twisted, so I had to order that. The belt went out. Another mirror went out. I just replaced all the mirrors, so they're warrantying the mirrors. Just a mess. I don't know what happened
Sounds like
what.
It's time to buy a new one.
He did.
I know. I told Bob, I said, it's 5 years old. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I might get rid of this one and get another one.
How old did you say it was?
5
This
years.
one's only 5 years old, and I never had an issue until this year.
Yeah, but I mean, what you would consider the lifespan for one of them things?
Oh, I got one that's from 2005 and it's still running strong. So I just put a new tube in this one too.
Laser tube in there, right? CO2.
Like you said, for that price, it should last longer than 5 years. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that one sitting there was 68, just plain bones, and then I built more on it. Yeah, and then plus tax. You know that. Then Uncle Sam that I've never met, he's kind of a dink, but he always wants money, and I always have to give him a little bit every time you buy stuff like that. So.
So this might be my most liked live. Yeah, well, our good friends in the Philippines are helping us out tonight. Fox Plus, when they shared it out, man, we got a boost for sure because we're at 76 viewers right now.
That's cool.
After 2 hours and 15 minutes. So
So Matt, y'all bringing pickles or whatever to Hive Life or whatever to give away to swap out?
I'm not even going to Hive Life.
No, you're not. I saw Sarah doing a bunch of pickles or whatever out in, canning a bunch of stuff. They said this is Matt's favorite or whatever. So I'm like going, hey, maybe we can swap out some pickles or whatever come Hive Life time.
Look at Matt.
Yeah.
Everything's his favorite.
I don't think I can swing it. One of these years I'd like to, but I don't know because this is our busiest time until it stops like for 1 week here on Christmas, but it goes pretty strong right now for a while. So
let me see.
So by the time Christmas is over, you ain't got any more sales for another month, right? So January is a good time to come.
Believe it or not, we have it goes until I would say the 3rd week in January. And it's and so I started asking customers once, this is obviously for Christmas gift. What do you guys do late Christmas? They were all late Christmases, like they do parties after Christmas. So it was like a whole nother tidal wave of people. It was nuts. Every year.
So far, we got 99.7% likes and one random thumbs down.
Holy smokes. It just jumped up to 354 on my screen.
What
did? I'm showing.
Oh, likes?
Yeah.
356 on mine.
We haven't had that many people on tonight, I don't think.
The highest I seen was 130.
Yeah, but people leave and people come in. So it's like constantly. It may show 75, but right now.
I got to make sure I hit that thumbs down.
We need that 99.7 is no good, right? So,
that thumbs down and removed
99 even or 100. We can't get it. Now we got to take it back to 99.
Yeah, well, I just bought my wife a new vacuum cleaner for Christmas, so I'm sure I'm getting a thumbs down.
A new vacuum cleaner for Christmas?
It wouldn't have to be one of those. Wouldn't one of those Dyson.
Yeah, it was a Dyson. They had them for a $400 Dyson for $279. I'm like going, I can't pass that up. That was a good deal. I said, honey, how would you like an upright Dyson? And she goes, well, I got a question for you too. Is that my Christmas present?
It wasn't the little battery operated one with all the attachments, huh?
No, it wasn't. It was the big one. It was a full size one, the plug-in one.
We just got the little battery one. I think they called it the V8.
Hey, nothing's too good for my wife. She gets the top of the line vacuum cleaner, baby.
Hey, I just went to Home Depot and I bought a car there. Do you believe that? It was $20. Brand new broom. I gave it to my wife today.
There you go.
You know she's in bed with the kids right now.
You are a loved man, I can tell.
You can't reach.
Go ahead, Lee. Clip it. That's some blackmail material right there.
Yeah.
I got it.
I think you're going to get beat with that broomstick. That's what's going to happen.
Waltz all over my head. All right, you guys. I'm out of here. I got to get back to work.
Yeah, I'm about
Have a good night.
3:30
See you guys.
Thanks, Matt. good you got to see us again.
Glad you got to see me.
Yep, that's it. I love his videos because he's always that happy guy, man. I've never.
He is, and his wife is just the same, man.
So it's awesome. But anyway, guys, we've got 78 people watching, and at this point, I feel like if we could keep going, we'd still have 78 people watching. So we appreciate it. Tuesday night is our normal night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, which most of you guys know. But if you're one of the other people that are watching, and we talk about bees several times a week, so definitely give everybody on the screen a follow there if you like, share, subscribe type of deal. And we appreciate you.
And I think this Tuesday we've done everything on my channel, so next Tuesday we'll be on your channel again. Yeah,
we'll be back on my channel next week. This was just kind
of. It sounds like we need to be on Brian's channel. We've had more viewers tonight than any other time. So let's wrangle this one, right?
Yeah. Take this time slot. So
we've just been pirated.
Just go head to head. Whoever gets the most views gets to keep the slot. We'll lose. We'll lose that battle on a reoccurring basis. So
had a good time tonight, guys. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great day tomorrow.
You're man. Come in more often.
Good night.
All right. Good night. All right, guys. Well, Charlie, thanks as usual for stopping in.
Yep. Yeah. It's been great tonight.
And it's been a fun night. And who knows what's going to happen? I think Frederick Dunn's on the Hillbilly Hives Live tomorrow.
Are we off or on?
We're on right now.
Yeah, we on right now.
But I think Hillbilly Hives Live tomorrow has Frederick Dunn on. And I think it's on Earl's channel. I don't know because they haven't been in our stream in weeks. So at least they haven't said anything. So maybe they'll start watching us again or whatever. I don't know what the deal is, but hey, they can do what they want to do. But anyway, guys, y'all have a good evening, and we will see you guys next time.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
Good night.